I don't think you talk collectively after the first game of the season. That would sound the panic alarm. I think more than anything else, you just go to everybody and just tell them it's one game. They didn't win a series today, even. They didn't win a month today. Dodgers won one game today. So I think you try to diminish the impact of one loss because it's not really that big in a course of 162.
How much of it was what the Dodgers did offensively, and how much was your pitching and a combination of those two?
You got to give them credit. Obviously, you got to give Clayton Kershaw credit as well. He threw a very good game. I think once he gets momentum, he's very difficult to handle. And we had a few chances early in the game. Nothing big ever mounted, but once he got momentum, it was tough. On the flip side, we probably had a couple situations where we could have attacked Adrian Gonzalez differently. I've got to do a better job of communicating in those leverage situations, how we got to go after him. And kind of the same thing with A.J. Ellis. Got to communicate to the guys how we want that done when there's a base open and there's guys on second and third, and handling those leverage situations when you want to go after somebody that's, I think, coming in today was 1 for 11 with 7 punch-outs on Tyson. So it's not a guy you want to walk to load the bases in those moments.
And
I think, he had his slider. I think he was up in the zone with his fastball. Usually he's working very well downhill plane. We tried to get Dino down a little bit more to get the sinker more impactful at the bottom half of the zone, and it was just a little bit up today. I thought, honestly, his slider always plays. He can punch just about anybody out at any given time with it. So I think you look at the outing, and there's probably just a few batters where the whole thing swung on that if they're handled a little bit differently, maybe we don't see that type of result.
And then Chase Utley slide in the third. You saw Derek Norris give him a lane, but it looked as if he was going right for him. Did you see that?
Yeah, I didn't think much of that. I didn't think much of that being a dirty slide. I think maybe sometimes people try to make too much out of Chase, considering what happened last year. I didn't think bad of it. Nobody talked bad of it in the dugout at all.
And when we talk to the guys before the game, and it's a lot of excitement. Hey, opening day, put a lot on this. It's different than any other day. To try and say it's not like any other loss, is it easy to wrap your brain around something like that and convince the guys of that?
Hey, opening day's special. It'll always be special. Nobody wants to come out and lay an egg on opening day and get beat 15-0. Nobody in baseball wants to do that. It still is one of 162, and over the course of 162, every single team in baseball gets smoked like that. So you have to keep it in perspective today and not blow it out of proportion, because it is a game that we probably think about more often since it's the first one of the season. So it's over. It's done with. Game 2's tomorrow.
Did you notice the mood in the clubhouse maybe different than any other loss, or was it kind of the same?
Considering it's our first loss, it's comparatively speaking difficult. But I think it probably does sting more than normal. But you have to diminish the impact. It's not a big deal in the long run.
We saw Colin Ray get a little bit of work. Just work for him. He's still on track to start in Colorado.
Yeah, 100% still on track to start. We held him back from his pen session just in case something like this occurred, so we'd have a little extra coverage in the bullpen on day 1. He wouldn't have done this if it was day 2 or day 3 of the series.
With Perdomo, was that kind of just throw him into the fire? Hey, you're going to have to experience it at some point. Here's your first crack.
Well, I think it's about as soft a landing as you can have, like getting a guy introduced to the game, get him in there as quickly as possible. It's already a 6-0 game at that point in time, and get him on the mound quickly so his wheels stop turning. Obviously didn't go well for him, though, today.